Roughly 39.6 megawatts hour of energy was made by my solar system in 2024, and most of that energy was used inside because I had last year around 23 megawatts hour consumption in my home by my devices. But about this we're gonna talk in the next part of the video, so let's get started. Welcome back to CSTech Audio here. So in this video we're gonna cover one full year from January 2024 to January 2025, and I'm gonna show you some numbers, some graph related to my solar system and to my production. As you already know, I had some huge production last year. I had around 39.6 megawatts hour, but most of that energy was used inside by my devices. And in order to understand what devices use that energy, I'm gonna split this in three categories. The first one is related to our garage. Our garage is one of the most high consumption part of that energy, and let me explain you why. First of all, please keep in mind we are a 3 members family, me, my wife and my child. My child is not able to drive right now because he's small, but we still have 3 electric cars. We have one Tesla Model S that has around 100 kilowatts hour in storage, and of course on each charge she will drain around 100 kilowatts. With that amount of energy we can drive during the winter around 300 and 350 kilometers maximum, and during the summer with the same amount of energy we can drive around 400 and 450 kilometers. So we have another 2 electric cars. They are smaller, but they are especially for city drive. They are Smart EQ. They are fully electric, and they have a battery around 70.6 kilowatts, and that battery drive us into the city around 80 to 100 kilometers during the winter, and during the summer the capacity also will be the same, but we can drive around 120 150 kilometers. Let me explain you why we can drive this small amount of distance during the winter. Is related to our interior temperature. For example, we have two. One is mine, one is of my wife, and in my car I like to set the temperature inside during the winter around 22 degrees, and once the temperature was set to that value I can drive around 100 kilometers with the same 70.6 kilowatts hour of energy. On the other hand, my wife, with the same car, with the same battery degradation, because she likes to drive at 26 degrees, she can drive around 20 kilometers less than me, so she can drive 60, 70, 80 kilometers during the winter, and the same thing will happen during the summer because she likes more colder inside. So this is our first high consumption devices. I'm gonna move forward to our second high consumption devices, and that is related to our heating and cooling system. We are 3-person family and we are living in the 400 square meters home, and of course during the summer we need to cool down the entire home, and during the winter we need to heat that amount of space at 25-26 degrees, and that use a lot of electricity because everything is fully electric for heating and cooling. And let me explain you why. Because our home was built 10 years ago and we don't have underfloor heating, we have radiator heating, and we tried to install a heat pump, but because the heat pump doesn't work well with radiators, we had a high consumption for the heat pump around 120-130 kilowatts hour of energy for each day. So we removed that heat pump. We still have a gas system that is related to their radiators, but we don't use anymore because I found another solution, was more clever solution, and of course has a small amount of energy that is used. And of course it's a heat pump. Basically it's a small heat pump, an AC heat pump. Because my home has already built in each room one AC unit, I decided 2 years ago to remove that old AC and put the new one. The new one has outside a heat pump unit from LG, has a double inverter, and of course inside has a normal AC unit, but the consumption for each room it's around 600 watts for 23-24 degrees. So this gives me the possibility also to set separate temperature for each room, but I'm going to show you next in our next part of the video my home, because my home is fully integrated with Victron and Fibaro. It's a smart home and everything is connected over there, and you can see the consumption in the real time. But this is the second high consumption devices in our home. Let's move to the third consumption devices in our home. Is related to our appliance. We are 3 members family, we have appliance, so everything it's connected to energy. We have a small YouTuber in our family that has a gaming channel, so his PC with his server and storage system drain me a lot of energy. So my whole consumption without anything connected, so without any car, without any appliance to it on, it's around 1 kilowatt constantly. So I have 1 kilowatt constantly all the time. So these are devices in my home, and this is the reason I have a huge amount of energy that is used directly inside from my solar system. My solar system, on another hand, it's a huge one. It's oversized. I think three time oversized, because I decided to build a system that is huge enough in order to sustain my energy consumption during the winter, not during the summer, because in the summer even a Chinese cheap system can produce my energy, but I want to have that energy available during the winter. And my system, I think you already saw in another videos, but let me make a small recap. It's a fully hybrid system made by 3 Victrons and 1 Fronius, 1 storage battery, and 48 kilowatts hour of solar module installed on the roofs, because I have many roofs over here on my home. So my system has 3 inverters from Victron. I choose Multiplus 2 8000. Each one has 8000 watts. Basically, Multiplus 2 10,000 is the name of Victron, but it's VA converted to watts. It's around 8 kilowatts. So I have 3 inverters of each has around 8 kilowatts. If I multiply by 3, because I have a 3-phase system, because we're living in Europe, we have 24 kilowatts power only from Victrons. So we had to install a battery because we want to storage as much energy we can. So we have a battery in this moment has around 50 kilowatts hour. We're gonna extend in the next in the future time. I think in 2 weeks I'm gonna start to build the same battery, but I'm gonna extend it to 82 kilowatts. I'm gonna keep you in touch if you follow us, because I'm gonna show you the process. But this is the reason we have so much storage, because we have so much production. Our production is not connected directly to Victron. The production is connected also to a Fronius. We have a Fronius Simon inverter, 20 kilowatts, that has 20 kilowatts of solar module installed on the roof. As you know, Fronius is a grid tie inverter, so because we have Victron, we was able to create a microgrid solutions. For those who don't know microgrid is, let me make a small recap. Victron, it's a hybrid inverter that can work with grid and without grid. So the Fronius is connected to Victron output. Even the grid is down, so we have a grid outage. The Victron generates the grid, the Fronius notice, and the Fronius still work at a full capacity, and it's able to charge my battery through Victron, and of course can sustain my consumption in that moment. If I don't have consumption and he have production, he will reduce the power based on my needs. So this is the reason we choose Victron with Fronius, because during the day we're gonna use Fronius to power directly our device, and during the night Victron will use energy from the battery to power the same devices. And of course, in the end, if we don't have the grid, because we're living in Europe and during the winter times, it happens that the grid will fall down because everyone is home and connect everything on the socket. The grid can stay down, so we don't have any problem with that. We never have a grid outage, because I just received a WhatsApp message from my system and tell me, hey Claudio, you don't have grid. Don't worry, you have batteries. And most of you asking yourself what happening if you have all the AC connected in your home to your battery, that will not drain your battery. Yes, will drain my battery, but my home is a fully intelligent home, and of course everything is connected. The Victron communicate with my home, a smart home system, and when the grid is missing, the Victron send to my home a message and tell her, hey, you don't have the grid, and my home turn off all the AC, turn off the charging station, turn off all the high consumption devices. And of course, if we are in the middle of the winter and we need to heat the smart home send information to my gas heating and tell her, hey, we don't have electricity, you must turn on. So my entire home will be heated by gas. So I have a double system for heating and cooling, and of course everything is connected. But I'm gonna explain you this, and I'm gonna show you this in real life, because I'm gonna show you my system. For those who want to see my system in real life, you can check into the description below, because it's a link. My system is live, you can see all the time, so you can see how a system that has 48 kilowatts hour of solar module act in the real life with 3 electric cars, with everything electric. So let's go back to screen. As you can see over here, SISU is my name, Claudio, and of course the system in the real time. Right now we are 5 p.m. We don't have any sun right now. As you can see over here, the sun is down because we are living in Europe. We have 4 seasons, and during the winter the day is small, and of course the sun stay only a few hours on the sky. So we drain all that energy, and put it into our batteries. And of course this is the reason we don't export energy to the grid. But let me show you my system. As you can see over here, the grid is -49, -32, so we don't have any grid consumptions. And as you can see, AC loads mean everything that is connected between grid and inverters. In my case, electric cars, they are not connected. The charging station are also connected. And we have the critical loads. Critical loads means everything that is in my home in this moment is related to my heating and of course my appliance. Let's move for a moment to my smart home system. Let's hit a refresh over here. And as you can see over here, let's move to, sorry, it's in Romanian. Let's see over here. I just made a small app that shows me everything that happened in my home in this moment. As you can see, we have outside temperature 4.1 degrees, is not very cold. The gas boiler, it's off, has only 1.6 watts consumption because it's only in standby. And as you can see over here, I have AC for each room, and also you can see over here the temperature in that room. In this moment, in AC dormitory, basically is my room, has 25.6 degrees. 25.5 degrees, and of course the consumption in this moment to maintain that temperature is around 220 watts. This is in real time because I have module installed on each AC, so I measure the exact energy in one moment. As you can see over here, I have my room, my child room, 26.9 degrees. In order to maintain this temperature, we have 220 watts, and as you can see in the living room, we have around 27 degrees, and in order to maintain this temperature, we had to use around 1 kilowatts of energy. And of course, AC living on the upstairs, 600 watts, and of course we have an AC. This is an old generation, it's in my gaming room, and has a consumption around 1.357.1 kilowatts. I don't know, 1.3 kilowatts. As you know, this is the old module from LG, but the consumption is double. So I recommend you to buy the new one. If you want to know more about that, write me in the comment. I make a separate video only for AC. And as you can see over here, everything else is powered off. AC Luisa is my wife room, zero device, 21.7 it's another room, and my home cinema 24 degrees it's off. And as you can see, everything is in real time. I refresh it, and my home whole consumption in order to maintain this heat at 400 square meters, it's around 3,400 watts. So for me it's more than enough because during the day all this power is sustained by my system. So I have everything here connected. As you can see, live consumption, and here is the daily consumption. So in 24 hours from this moment, so if I count 24 hours, I have 45.98 kilowatts hour consumption for my whole house. So if I had to compare with my old heat pump, that was a new generation heat pump in fact, but my home was not built to work pretty well with heat pump because underheating, underfloor heating was missing. I think it's 3 times more power consumption, less power consumption than a heat pump. So now let's back to Victron webpage, because the purpose of this video is to show you my production, my consumption for my entire year. So let's go down. As you can see over here, we are right now in the 7th January 2025. So the temperature outside is around 9 degrees, and today was a cloudy day, but my production for today was around 40 kilowatts hour. All this energy was consumed directly by my home, and even more, I still drain from the grid 31.5 kilowatts, because once the battery hit 40%, I set a level over here, the energy will be drained from the grid, because we are in the winter and I prefer to have more buffer, because it's happened sometime into the winter to have the grid down during the night. During the night. Now let's select 12 months, because I promised you to show you the last 2 months. So from January 2024 to January 2025, we have 2 months, and let's check some numbers. Solar production, 39.6 megawatts hour of production from my solar setup. So if you have a solar system that has 48 kilowatts hour of solar module on your roof, you can expect of this production during the day. My solar module are set to east, west, and also to the south, so I cover all day of sun. Consumption was 22.9 megawatts hour, and of course I also drain from the grid around 7.8 megawatts. I also feed to the grid 22.5 megawatts. I have a question for you, because we are living in Europe, we're living in Romania, and for each kilowatt that we buy from the hour operator, we must pay around 0.26 US dollars or euro, because they are the same. And if we sell energy to the grid, in my case I sell to the grid 22 megawatts, I receive for 1 kilowatt around 0.1 US dollars. So I'm very curious to know in your country what are the balance, because in our case, if I want to use 1 kilowatt from the grid, I must feed 3. So write that in the comments, from which country are you, how much you pay for 1 kilowatt, and how much you receive if you sell 1 kilowatt to the grid. Now let's move forward to consumption, and I want to share with you consumption. As you can see over here, my consumption that is 23 megawatts hour, 10 megawatts hour was directly from solar, so this consumption was made during the day. And of course I have 5.1 megawatts that was drained from our batteries, and the rest was come from the grid. Now let's move to solar. Let's see what's happening with our electricity this year. So production 39 megawatt, 39.6 megawatts, direct use 10 megawatts, to battery 7 megawatts. As you can see over here, I have 2 megawatts that was lost into conversion, because as you know, the system will convert AC to DC, DC to AC, because when you use during the night, you convert DC to AC, and this lose some energy. And of course during the day is the same, you convert DC to DC to charge, because we have a furnace, and furnace is connected to Victron, so AC come from furnace, is converted to DC, and that moves to the battery, and that loses us around 2 megawatts during the year. We don't feel it because we have a huge system, but keep in mind also these numbers. And of course we feed to the grid 22.4 megawatts. We also have a new EV charger statistics over here from Victron. In my case, it's only from September 2024, because that was the moment when Victron released this. And of course, as you can see over here, the Smart drain around 0.6 megawatts, and of course the Tesla 1.1 megawatts. I think I'm gonna make a video next year, because we're gonna cover the entire 1 year related to EV charger. About kilometers, I think I made around 20,000 kilometers this year with Tesla, and I think Smarts make around 50, 60, I don't know, 1,000 kilometers this year. I didn't take some numbers, but all these details are showing in real time in Victron VRM platform, because if you don't have Victron, let me explain you. Victron offer a free system, a free platform that connect everything that is in your home. In my case, inverters, Victron, furnace, and also EV chargers, everything is connected and everything is shown over there. And as you can see, I have the statistics for the whole system. So in my case, I have a fully integrated system, also with my smart home. And let me show you the smart home system PV. As you can see over here, I have production today, consumption in this moment, instant power, and of course I can see everything happening in my home, in my smart home, because as I told you, everything is connected. As you can see, 46% battery over here, 6,000 watts consumption in this moment. Let's move to Victron. Consumption 6,046% battery. So in my case, everything is connected. I work to connect everything. We have a company in Romania that installs solar system, that install home automation system, and of course for our customer we can build everything custom, so everything will be integrated in order to have a fully system that connects solar, smart home, heating, and of course electric car charging. I hope you don't feel bored of this video. Sorry for my English. I'm not a native English speaker, so if I misspell something during this video, don't hate me. But if you have any question, don't hesitate. Use the comment area below and ask us everything you want to know about our system and about our solar system. And of course, if you want to see more video, I recommend you to subscribe to our channel, and of course hit the bell if you want to receive a notification once we put a video online. Don't forget to follow us on other social networks. We are everywhere. You can search CSTech. You can find us Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all other platforms. but most of the video will be here on YouTube because we prefer to show everything here on YouTube. And of course, we're gonna move to our new studio. I think this is the old studio. I don't know how much I will stay over here, but we moved to our new studio. I hope into the spring we'll be there. So I hope you can follow us, and of course I hope you can enjoy this video. Now I want to write in the comments, don't forget about the prices of the energy in your country, how much you pay for energy, how much you receive when you sell energy. Write me the prices in US dollars because I want to make a comparison between us and between other countries around the world in order to know how this electricity works fully worldwide. Thank you for watching, and of course, see you in the next one. Bye.